I guess I'm pregnant. I have been like just in shock. I'm texting my friend right now. Anyway. Oh. I'm sorry, I can't even talk right now. I finally got a positive pregnancy test. And I'll show you guys a picture of it later on, but oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep it together right now, but okay, so technically, we've been trying for 4 months straight. I've been using ovulation strips, and I'll tell you guys more about this like when I make more videos about it, but basically there's so much that goes into this, but this month I got advice from a friend to just let God take over, right? Like, just stop obsessing about your tests. Like, there's so many things that, you know, can make your stress, like, worry. You worry with like a lot of built-up stress every month because you're looking at these tests and blah blah blah, and you're just like so focused on it that sometimes your body just can't relax and you can't just enjoy the process. Sorry, my arm's shaking, but my friend gave me advice to just stop keeping track of every little symptom that I was experiencing. And I did. I didn't write anything down, and good thing I remember everything, because I do remember everything, but I didn't write everything down, all my symptoms and stuff. But I did keep track of my ovulation, just because that was the only thing that I cared about, is I wanted to know when I was ovulating, like stuff like that. So I'm such an idiot because I dumped my pee out. Like, I took the first test. I always do something stupid when I find out I'm pregnant, but anyway, I dumped out the pee, and I have this test that I really want to take, but I'm just gonna drink some water and hopefully it'll show it, because honestly the line is super faint, but it's not faint to the point where you can't see it. Like, it's pretty, I mean, it's there. And I always watch these videos, and these girls are like, they always see a line and they're like, I don't think it's real. And I go, you're so stupid, because there's a line, and these HCG tests are very sensitive, like, to HCG. And now I'm thinking, like, I don't know if it's real. And like, I know I look like death, you guys. Like, I probably gained 5 pounds and my skin is terrible, but it's fine. Anyways, Merry Christmas. Like, I can't believe it. My god. Literally finding this out. Like, Christmas is on Monday and it's Thursday today. So I get to tell my husband and my family, praying that the light gets darker, Jesus. I know it will in your name. I get to tell them all on Christmas Day. I'm gonna have to try to keep it together for my husband. I thought I was pregnant last month, and the month before that I was like convinced, like, everything was going on. Like, I literally like told myself that I was pregnant, and my body did all the things, and that is a real thing, and I can vouch for that. I have so much stuff to tell you guys in videos, and tell you like things that I've been doing to help this happen. And oh, I'm just, right now I just want to celebrate. I look so bad and I wish I looked better, but I'm just like, I don't feel like it's real, because it's like you pee on this test and this little line shows up, and you're just like, how can this be real? Like, I've been trying for a long time, and you guys probably know that I have H. pylori, or I did. I don't know if it's there anymore. It probably is, but we stopped basically trying for like 8 months or almost a year because of it. And come to find out, I really didn't need to do that. Like, and so I just kept telling my husband, like, I want to try, well, let's do this. And he's like, I think we should wait, you know. And I went to 2 different holistic doctors, and like, I did all these things. I'll show you guys the test right now really quick. You probably want to see it. Okay, I have a really good camera, so you can obviously see that line right there. I mean, come on. It's trying to focus, I think, but yeah, it's right there. If you didn't see it, yeah, I mean, come on, like crazy. See it now? Like, these tests are very, like, HCG sensitive, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drink some water and I'm gonna take this test, because I figure if it is coming up that dark, then I'll probably be able to see it on the other test, but I'm a little worried. I'm gonna come on with you guys a little bit later and I will show you the other test. I mean, I'm a little concerned. I'm not concerned. I'm not. It's fine. I can't. It's crazy. But I will definitely come back on in like maybe a couple of hours or something and I'll show you another test. I hope I hope it shows up on that test. That'd be great. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm shaking right now. Look at that. How clear could it be? This is 5 days before I'm supposed to start my period too. Like, that's pretty dark for that, being that far apart from my period. Like, holy cow. Wow. I am in shock right now. Like, seriously. I guess I'm pregnant. I'm freaking pregnant. Wow. My son is singing in the background for you guys. Now I'm trying to figure out if I should tell my husband and my family on Christmas Day. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna do. But it's gonna be very hard to like keep a secret. Cheese. Payson, guess what?
Cheese.
You're gonna be a big brother.
Cheese.
Good job, Payson. You're gonna be a big brother, buddy. Are you excited? Are you so excited? Can you say yes? Oh, did you go poo-poo? I smell something. Oh, buddy. Yay, buddy. Oh, are you excited? Oh, buddy.
Cheese.
Can I have a kiss? Cheese. Okay, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rebecca Varney if you guys are new. Today I'm going to be talking about what I never thought in a million years would happen to me, but at the same time, I guess that everything and anything is possible. I had a miscarriage about 2 days ago. I want to share my story about it. I want to talk a little bit about it just because I feel like if there's anyone out there that has had something similar, or maybe they don't understand what's going on, I just want to share and talk about what happened to me. And I want to preface, like, obviously this is a very sensitive topic and I'm going to be going into some detail about what happened. And obviously, like, if you're kind of going through right now, or just make sure you're strong enough to listen to something like this, because it's going to be, I mean, I'm going to be talking about the actual loss, like in the bathtub, and like what happened. So if you guys are mentally prepared for that, then you can stay around. But the whole point of me sharing this is because I want to put this out there for other women to hopefully give them strength and courage to get past it as well. And I know it's very, very new still. And the reason why I'm doing it so new and fresh is because it's fresh in my mind, and I really don't want to be talking about this like weeks down the line. Like, I just kind of want to get it out there, over with, moving on, so I can start focusing on hopefully getting pregnant again. I had a positive pregnancy test. I had already started filming like my first trimester video. I already filmed my 2-week wait. It's crappy that I can't put that online, but hopefully I will be able to do that again one day. But anyway, I got a positive pregnancy test on January 21st of 2023, and it was
I was like in so much shock, honestly, because we had only been really trying, like with ovulation sticks and all that, like the test strips, for 4 solid months. However, we had been not super trying for like over a year. So, or a year and a half, I should say. So it never really happened. So I kept thinking, man, it's like, is this ever going to happen? And then it finally happened 4 months into trying, like really trying. And I was still kind of in shock, you know, over it all. And I got a very like faint shadow. Like it was a line, but it was a shadow. And when I took my first pregnancy test with my son, he's 2.5 now, the line was actually pretty dark for it was like 5 days before my missed period with him, and the line was much darker. So automatically in my mind, I realized that it, you know, maybe it means nothing because HCG, it was still so early, like into 3.5 weeks or whatever it was, that it was a little over 3.5 weeks, but it was still too early for me to be concerned about like how dark the strip was, right? However, when I first like saw that test, and I did the first response test after that, and there was a faint line, I just started taking all these tests like every single day, and honestly the line just wasn't getting too much darker. And I really just tried to put that out of my head. Like, I'm not paying attention to that. Like, it's fine. It's going to develop. It's going to be fine. And not until like, I think it was like 2 weeks after I confirmed my pregnancy that the line was actually like more dark. It was like almost as dark as the control line. So that was the moment that I was like, okay, the HCG is growing. Like it's getting better. And I guess I thought everything was going to be fine, you know? But a couple things happened to me where I had this feeling, and I had a feeling almost the whole time, and I truly feel like God prepared me for this loss. And I almost knew like ahead of time that it was going to happen. I don't know how I knew it, but I was on the floor and I was putting my son to bed, and I was just praying to God, like, Lord, this is your child, you know, obviously I don't want you to take it from me, but if you truly feel like it's something that you want in heaven, then he or she in heaven, then it's your baby, you know. I maybe there's a bigger purpose why you didn't let me keep it, you know, or something like that. So I was just thinking thoughts and praying and just kind of releasing it, because I had a feeling, I had a sixth sense. So anyway, there's this one day that I was like, my son was playing in the bathroom and he was opening the drawers and stuff, and I turned and I had this really weird, undescribable pain in my back. It was like almost like a pinched nerve, but the nerve shot up my back and down my back. And I don't know why, but it was that moment that I felt like I knew something was off, like something was coming. And I also noticed, and this is why I'm filming this, because I feel like this was so unique, and it may not mean anything, but it might mean something. So the whole time I was pregnant, like, I felt it right here. And I don't know what that means. I felt like sharp pains right there. It was like higher up, you know? So to me, it could be either an ectopic pregnancy, or I forget how they say it, where it's like not all the way in your uterus yet, but like way up in your fallopian tube, like it implants itself there. Because I never felt any implantation, and I know that's common. I never felt it with Payson, but I just felt like it was there, and it never got to my uterus. And so the reason why I feel like that would be confirmed is because when I went to the hospital, I'll share all this information in a second, but when I went to the hospital, they couldn't find anything on the ultrasound. So I'm gonna get into that So that was confusing, you know. So it could be a chemical pregnancy for all I know. I don't know what happened. I am going to the doctor today to get my HCG blood drawn, so I'm definitely gonna come back on later and talk to you guys about that and see where I'm at with all that. I'm assuming that it's gonna be lower because I took an HCG test from home, and I know you're not, the doctor told me not to do that, but I did it anyway, and the lighter, it was getting lighter, the line. So anyway, let's see. We were at home that day. We were just chilling. It was a snowy day, like cold, and I started to feel some cramping. And it felt like period cramps. And so instantly I was like, this is not a good sign. Like, I was like, this is not a good sign. So I went to the bathroom, and of course, when I wiped, there was blood, and you know, there was blood, and it wasn't a lot at first. It was just like a period blood, and it was red, dark red pretty much. And I was like, okay. So I called, I'm pretty sure I called my mom like right away, and I just told her what was going on, and she comforted me and told me it's gonna be okay, you know. I called my sister, Sarah, told her what was going on, and then I called my mother-in-law. They were all telling me and comforting me and everything, and then I decided to call the doctor because my little sister, she's like, you need to go to the doctor like right now. And I was like, really? Like, I was like, maybe this can just play out, you know, and just I'll figure it out and stuff. And she's like, just go to the doctor. And I was like, okay. So I ended up going, I tried to go to like labor and delivery, but I guess they don't take you until you're like further along. And you can't get a real like topical ultrasound like on your uterus until later, because they can't even see anything at like 5.5 weeks. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys, is how far along I am. Sorry, I should have started there, but I was 5.5 weeks along. I was like 2 days until I was 6 weeks, according to my apps. So I get to the hospital, go through labor and delivery. They send me right to the ER, which is super annoying, but it didn't take that long. Usually the ER can take like 3 hours, but it didn't take that long. And we were probably there for like a good 2 hours or so. They just hooked me up to all these things. Like they took my blood and everything. Then they took me down all these hallways in the hospital bed. They rolled me down and they took me into this room. And this was the weirdest part for me because, like I said, there was nothing in my uterus. So she stuck the pole up the vag and she was looking around, and it was called the intervagina. I don't know what you call it. It's just the internal ultrasound. And she was looking around and she was measuring my ovaries and things like that and looking at the blood flow. And I was just staring at the screen, like looking for anything, like some type of heartbeat or whatever. And at one point I thought I saw like a little tiny something, but it was nothing. And turns out when I get back to the room, he said, you've had what we call a threatened miscarriage. And I just want you guys to know at this point, I haven't passed the mass or the clot or whatever it was. I hadn't passed that yet. So I just want to be very clear about that, because they told me that they couldn't see anything in my uterus, so that there was no sac. There was nothing there. There was no embryo, no sac. So this is where I get really confused, because he told me that it may be, he's like, my HCG levels were at 400, which is extremely low. And he said it could either go one way because you're really early still in your pregnancy. He said it can either grow from here, like, or they can drop. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna drop, because at that point I had no more breast pain or like no more breast sensitivity. I wasn't feeling like I had to pee all the time anymore. Like my hunger pains were going down. Like all these things were going on, and I just knew. So I wanted to say that I was very confused at this point, because obviously like the doctor gave me sort of in my mind like false hope. And I know it can happen where your HCG can grow from there, or it can, you know, go the opposite direction. But I was convinced that it wasn't going to be the other way. I just kind of had a gut feeling. And so basically I left the hospital. My son and my husband came with me. My husband drove me there. And when I got home, we had eaten dinner. My husband went and got us at the Habit. Then I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, like, I felt this super intense uterus pain. Like everything was tightening and squeezing and pushing. So I didn't know what that was. And now I realize that it was my body pushing out the embryo and everything. I mean, whatever that was, it was pushing it out, whether it be a blood clot, I don't know. But I was like, you know, I'm going to take a bath. I feel like taking a bath. So I literally the bath was almost full. I was, you know, ready to get in, and I noticed that a ton of blood started coming out, and I was already, I was standing like by the bath, and I said, babe, like something happened. And I literally caught this big blob in my hand. Like I seriously like birthed. I feel like I birthed my own child. Like it was just sitting there, but it was like a 6-week-old embryo, you know. My son opened the door. So anyway, this was one of the weirdest, surreal moments of my life, because I'm sure if any of you guys have gone through any of this, or, you know, whatever, or it is so intense and scary, because in the moment I was thinking, is this just like a big, like, is this just a big blood clot, or is this actually like the baby? And I realized, like, I took a picture. I thought my husband automatically flushed it, but he put it in a piece of toilet paper and he set it on the countertop. And I just was like, oh, you saved it? He's like, yeah. He's like, it's right here. And he's so smart to do that, because I would have never known like what it actually looked like if I didn't do that, if he didn't do that. So to me, it looked clear in some parts. It had very dark red on it, and it was just this blob like the size of my palm pretty much. And it had like, it had some blue in it, and it was clear. So to me, it didn't look like a blood clot. Oh, it didn't look like a blood clot. It looked like a baby. Like it looked like a lot of tissue and stuff like that. So I was just very convinced that that's what happened to me. And anyway, after that, I didn't have any. After that, I didn't have any like intense feeling and cramping anymore. I had light cramping until like the next day, which was yesterday, last night. I sort of had a little bit more cramping, and I was so afraid that my body was going to push something else out. I was just like, oh God, but it never got there. And since then, I've just been having a little bit of blood clotting coming out, and some blood. So I've just been wearing like panty liners and pads and things like that. So it's been getting a little bit lighter, like the blood and everything. So I'm not too concerned at this point that like I'm gonna get infection or anything, because I feel like it's my body's just naturally doing what it's supposed to do. I think the most confusing part about all this is what the doctor told me. And so when I go to the doctor today, because the reason why I'm saying that is because I Googled things, and it was saying, oh, it could, you know, you could still be pregnant. It could have just been a blood clot that came out. There's like a name for it. I forget the name, but I just don't want to get my hopes up that that's what it is, because I don't feel pregnant anymore. Like, my bloating is gone. I've had so much gas, like my body's releasing all the bloating and air. And I have like, I mean, I have a tiny bit of like nipple sensitivity, but that's probably because there's still HCG left in my body a little bit. But besides that, like, I did have a little bit of nausea, but that's also normal for when you have a miscarriage because your hormones are changing so quickly. So I've just been taking my AG1 greens, drinking those, my seed supplement. I'm taking Heart and Soil. It's a supplement to help like get your body ovulating again, and it's a natural like grass-fed liver supplement, and has a bunch of good things in it. I'm just taking that again for now because I want to get my body ovulating and healthy again, so I can hopefully try again to conceive with my husband, of course. But I definitely am going to be taking good care of my body for as long as it takes. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I did want to share this with you guys, and I hope that you guys don't have the same situation as me. And if you do, then obviously you just be comforted in the fact that like God is in the details of everything. He is so good, and he is so loving and nurturing. And the fact that you even got to be pregnant, and the fact that you even got to carry a beautiful baby, like, to me, that's such a blessing, even if it didn't go long term. Just knowing that I got to harbor like a beautiful little nothing, like, you know, like, it's not nothing, but just a baby, you know, like, it's so beautiful. And I'm so thankful. I just hope and pray that the next one, if I do get pregnant again, that it'll be healthy and it'll stick, and it'll be my little rainbow baby. You know, I never thought I would be saying that online, but I never thought I'd be saying any of this online. But I do know that I still have hope, and I've had hope this whole time. I haven't been distraught because I was honestly prepared mentally. I don't know how, but I was. And I kind of just had that feeling. So if you guys don't have that, you know, just know that still God is in control, and it's going to be okay. And hopefully you guys will get your rainbow baby too. And I'm praying that over you guys, and trusting the Lord that he knows what to do. You know, he knows what we need and everything. So anyways, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and just be positive and know that you're very loved and cherished, and that's it. Thank you guys. Have a good day.